All right, part two. Running the freezer with a timer. That's really the key. If you don't use the timer, you're running the compressor way too much, way more than it needs. I can run it generally, as you see here. It depends on the time of year, as I was saying, but generally an hour and a half off, an hour on, or 30 minutes on, hour and a half on, off, 30 minutes on, and then I'll have areas you'll skip several hours, depending on what time of the year it is. You can get away with running it less in the wintertime. And then of course you need to turn the thermostat all the way down. I would highly recommend, if you're going to try to run a freezer, you can buy special thermostats that I've seen on the web that will enable you to really have a lot of control over the thermostat ability on these freezers. I think you can get them for right around $80, and you install them in here yourself, and you're able to actually turn it into a refrigerator if you want. You can change the temperature and have it very accurate and regulated. And what we're trying to do is control when that compressor comes on. But I don't have one of those on this. I would like to get one to try it and see what happens. I think what I'll end up eventually doing as we move up to our property is to invest in a 12-volt freezer, like a Sundancer, something like that. They're extremely efficient, have a lot of insulation in them, run off very few wattage. I think one 100-watt panel you can run off of one all day long with it. So it's pretty cool, but they're expensive. A small one like that, $1,200 to $1,500, somewhere around in there. I haven't really shopped for them much, but you're going to spend over $1,000 easy. But this is on a budget. I think I paid $250 for this freezer, new. It is an Energy Star. I don't quite know how efficient it is. I bought a new one because the new ones are more efficient. So anyway, somebody asked me how much money I have in this little system, and I added it up. It comes to around $2,200. To a lot of people, that sounds like very little money. A lot of people, it sounds like a lot of money. Depends on if you're used to dealing with solar or not. It's a very small system in comparison to what you can have. You can spend thousands and thousands of dollars just on an inverter. I could easily spend $2,000 on an inverter alone. I could spend $600 or $700 on a charge controller. There's a lot of expense that you don't think about when you're putting these things together, like something to mount it on, hardware, screws, wood, things like 4x4 posts to mount the panels and that kind of thing. And you can easily spend $100, $200 just in wire, really. I just added 2 of these batteries, and it takes me to 675 amp hours. I think I spent $30 on cable for it. I bought some number 2 cable, and this is actually number 4. I had these made up already, so these are 4. I'm going to switch it over to 2 very soon, as soon as I buy some more ends. I ran out of ends, but I got the cable, so you definitely want to be careful what kind of cable you use. I know I probably need to change a lot of this cable. I'm using, on my charge controller, I'm using a, I think that's number 8, I think that's a number 8 that goes to the batteries. I could probably go to a 6 gauge or a 4. Heck, I don't know. A lot of this, I guess, I'm just kind of guessing. But what is the capabilities of this little system? It runs that freezer, no problem, on a timer. It can handle every light in my house. I'm talking my emergency lights, which are LEDs. They average about 7.8 watts apiece. I don't know what the amperage is on them, but it doesn't take much at all to run those bulbs. And there's one burning in that lamp right now. I've got one out here, but I can run 10 of them, no problem at all, while running that freezer. I can also charge a laptop. I can keep my phones charged. I can run my modem, so I can have internet. I could run. I've got an LED television. It's a big one. I could run it if I wanted to. I think it'd be a waste of electricity, but I could run it. We have little test sessions when we'll shut the power off for a day or two even, and we'll just run off the solar, and we just kind of test the system and see what our capabilities are, and that's kind of cool. And I suggest everybody do that if you're into doing all this kind of stuff, and you really need to test your systems in any way you can, as many times as you can. And I guarantee you, every time you do it, you're going to say, oh, I learned something, I did something wrong, I need to change this, or I need to buy something. A lot of times it's just something small, like, some different cables or some more extension cords or something. Now speaking of extension cords, this system is not wired. It's not hardwired into my house. It is a off-grid system that it looks like a permanent installation, but it's not. It's designed so that I can move it, and eventually it will be permanently installed somewhere on our property. I'm going to put some videos up here pretty soon of our property. We've got close to 40 acres way north of us, out in the middle of nowhere. But this system is going to eventually evolve into a system that will power my cabin that we're going to build here pretty soon. And well, that's about all I can think of. You guys, please post if you got any questions, and I'll try to get back to you. I'll kind of keep an eye on this video, and if you guys have any solar questions, ask, and I'll try to answer what I can. And if I can't, I can direct you to somebody who can. But thanks for watching.